Kia ora and welcome to Rakaia News. I'm Cody, Justin Bieber, LV.
And I'm Georgina, Britney Spears. In today's stories, a new crime wave is sweeping the country in the form of woolen graffiti. Scientists have invented an invisibility cloak where we help them find it and the latest in weather around the country. But first, a story that will turn your world upside down.
If you think the world is getting more topsy-turvy, it turns out you're right. Builders in Germany have built an upside-down house, and before you think they may have read the plans upside down, they actually did it on purpose. Those wacky aboard was built as a tourist attraction, as well as being a comment on the world, and the house sits at 23 feet tall and rests on its roof. There's steel frames in the attic to slow down and keep the house steady. The beds are screwed into the ceiling, and upside-down wardrobes, an upside-down kitchen, and even an upturned bathroom. Though it's not... What? It's not sure if anyone has tried to take a shower or go to the toilet. Normally a house like this would take 3 weeks to build, but it took over 4 months to resume. Because the workers kept getting more focused by the strange plan angles of the walls. Many tourists visiting the house complain of feeling sick when they're dizzy after just a few minutes inside. We now cross over to our reporter, Dana, who is inside the house. Hey, now, how are you feeling, Dana?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with the owner of the house. So, what made you decide to build this upside-down house?
Well, I got the idea from the upside-down cake.
What comment do you feel the house makes about the state of the world?
Well, it makes gravity look silly now.
What are some of the challenges of living in a house where everything is upside down?
Well, when you go to get a drink of water, you get most of it on your head.
How do you sleep at night?
Well, I sleep pretty good now because I get strapped into bed with duct tape.
Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for listening. I'm Dana for Rakaia News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dana. Even watching that makes me feel sick. And now for a story that is truly out of sight. Look out, Harry Potter. The world of science is catching up with the world of magic. Scientists in Europe have created a 3D invisibility cloak, which can hide objects by bending light waves. It has been found that light can be controlled using special tiny crystals that makes objects disappear. So far, scientists have made small objects such as coins disappear, but hope that it won't be long before they are hiding cars, planes, and even people. People have always dreamed of making themselves invisible, one top scientist says. The possibilities are endless, and we are very excited. However, since inventing the invisibility cloak, the scientists have been having trouble finding it. As soon as we put it down somewhere, it just disappears, and inventor of the cloak said. It appears they are having trouble finding other things too, like their lunch, which they think may be underneath the cloak. What will this invention actually be used for? Hopping in to see through the reasons behind the invisibility cloak. Here is our on-the-spot reporter, Chris, with more on the story.
Hello, I'm Chris, and with me is Egypt and April, two of the scientists behind the invisibility cloak. Hi guys, and thanks for joining us. What made you want to invent an invisibility cloak?
Well, my grandson died 2 years ago, and I was supposed to do something for him, and he wanted to be invisible, so I invented a invisibility cloak with the help of Egypt.
Okay. What do you hope the cloak will be used for?
Well, I hope it'll be used for old people and elderly hide and go seek.
Okay. Can you show me how the invisibility cloak works?
Yeah, sure. I just gotta find it first. Okay. Here we go. Now, I should have disappeared. Have I?
Yep, you're gone. Okay, you're back. Do you think Dumbledore would be mad that you stole his idea?
No, me and Dumbledore were friends back at school, so yeah, he shouldn't mind.
Okay, well that makes things very clear. Thanks for joining us, and we're out of time. Over to you, Cody and Georgina, in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. And now, this is for an interesting yarn. A new wave of graffiti crime is covering the country, thanks to an underground gang known as the Midnight Knitters. These ball-waving criminals are covering trees, branches and even lampposts with small jerseys and scarves under the cover of the darkness. Police say these activities are the gangs illegal because the wally crimes are being done in public property without permission. The popularity of the woolen graffiti is growing and more public objects are being wrapped up every night. But the problem is growing. Police say warn that if the Midnight Knitters aren't caught soon, every tree, lamppost and traffic light in the country will be warmly dressed against the cold. The problem is spinning out of control. They are knitting in a group dyed in wool. Criminals, we are stitching together the case, but it's not seamless. There is no real pattern to the crimes, a police spokesman said today. So far, the criminal knitters have escaped arrest and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of the bottom of the public and the police. We go now to the secret location with our investigator reporter, Damien, who has an exclusive interview with one of the Midnight Knitters gang. Over to you, Damien.
Thanks, Cody. I'm Damien, and joining me in this top secret location is a member of the Midnight Knitters gang, Knitting Needle Nigel. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
What led you into the dark underworld of knitting graffiti?
I saw my mum doing it. It looked pretty cool.
Okay. Do you see yourself as a criminal?
Yes.
Why?
Because we graffiti knit public places.
Okay. Apart from trees, lamp posts and traffic lights, what else do you graffiti?
Houses.
Okay. How do you join this Midnight Knitting gang?
Talk to me.
Okay, I guess I'm talking to you after the show. Thanks for your time, Knitting Needle Nigel of the Midnight Riders gang. We now go over to Rhoda May and Jordan with the weather update.
Thank you, Damien, and good evening, New Zealand. Let's have a look at tomorrow's weather.
Starting in the far north in Kaitaia, look out for some pretty flash flooding and raindrops as big as your head. If you're going outside, wear a hat. Moving down to Auckland, there will be a mix of fair conditions and unfair conditions, but those are the conditions and you just have to accept them. There will be no weather at all for Nape here in Hastings, the Bay of Plenty. It's taking a short holiday, but it's expected to be back for the weekend. In Nape and Hastings, the weather will be sometimes changeable and sometimes not. We have really no idea what will happen there. In the Taranaki, a mild depression brings with it a very dull day, with no highlights at all, and gloomy all morning. But things should clear up by the evening everything will be fine. Wellington will have another capital day. There will be no wind at all, and the conditions will be so pleasant they'll actually be extreme. The top of the South Island, Kaikoura can expect to have a good day, meeting friends for lunch, going for a swim and reading the newspapers, but try to stay indoors as the weather will be just terrible. A real mix for Christchurch, which will have some unreasonable rainfall, sensible wind, moderate thunderstorms and some of very angry snow. And in the lower south, Dunedin will be frosty, cold and unfriendly until late morning, when the sun will pop over for a visit. Everybody likes the sun.
That's all from us. Remember, if it's raining outside, that's the weather for you. Good night, New Zealand. Now it's back to the news desk with Cody, the Destroyer, and Georgina.
Thanks, Jordan and Rhoda May. Well, that's all we have time for.
We hope you've enjoyed this evening broadcast. Thank you all for watching, and
Until then, I'm Cody Justin Bieber Elvie.
And I'm Georgina Britney Spears
of Rakaia News.
Goodbye,
He
Nohora.